Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Coach's Corner East. It is Wednesday, the 24th of August, and we're heading into week 2 of the high school football season. Our show here at the Pizza Hut is brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street in Galion, Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine in Bucyrus, John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street in downtown Crestline. Coming up a little later in the show tonight, Michael Winland, head football coach at Crestline, and his Bulldogs coming off a really difficult loss against Buckeye Central and getting prepared for North Baltimore in week 2. We'll talk to them. Prior to that, it'll be Jake Bruner getting his first win as a varsity coach at Crawford as they defeated Riverdale, and they will be home this week to East Knox. And then we're going to start it off here with Coach Matt Dick and the Galion Tigers, who had a very difficult game against McComb. Learned a lot from it, I'm sure, and getting ready to head to Carey, the defending Division 6 state champs. So, Coach Dick, thank you for coming in tonight. I certainly appreciate it. And as I mentioned, McComb last week at home, your home opener, the season opener, a game that was pretty close for a while. Ended up McComb winning 54-28. They led at halftime 27-14 and then outscored you 27-14 in the second half. Talk a little bit about what you expected and what came out of it, because let's face it, 2 scrimmages, one of them is really controlled, one of them is more like a game, but when you get young adults under the lights and no coaches out there, it takes on a little different look, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we got a lot of kids playing some different positions, and I think especially defensively secondary, they struggled at times. First half, we had some decent stuff going. It was real smash-mouth football, back and forth, exciting, and right before half, we gave up a touchdown, and I think that really stole the momentum of the game. Hats off to Coach Algie and McComb. They got some really good players, and they made a lot of really good plays. And if we're going to give up, 3 or 4 long touchdown passes, it makes it hard to stay in games unless you can match that. We're more of a run team, so it makes it a little harder.
Sure, absolutely. Braxton Prosser, 15-yard TD run near the end of the first quarter. Then Cooper Kent to Prosser for a 32-yard touchdown pass with 1:02 left in the half. And then, as you mentioned, McComb tacks on a score right before half with 20 seconds left. And that's always deflating, I think, to some point, because you get back in it and then you give one up. Chris Algie and McComb, they're pretty good at running that 2-minute offense just because they have the personnel to do it. What did you tell your kids at halftime, especially after they got that late touchdown?
Yeah, I think our kids were a little down at halftime, tried to pump them up, coach them up hard. Defense was making some adjustments. We did some stuff better in the second half, but on the same note, we got to, it's probably like the fourth quarter, third quarter, where there's a time where I'm looking at the sidelines. They've scored a lot of points, but I'm like, we're 1 pick 6 away from being in it. It's going to get real close here at the end. We just couldn't make that one last stop to get back in it, or maybe we couldn't finish that one drive to get back in it. So there were definitely points after the first half where I thought we could have got in it, and hats off to McComb. They're a really good team that's played a lot of playoff games, and those guys know how to win and close out games, and they did that.
Gabe Ivey, 4-yard touchdown run early in the fourth quarter, rounds out the Tigers scoring at 8:37. And he also runs out the Tigers scoring at 8:37 of the fourth with a 3-yard run. Each team had 58 offensive plays. Is that kind of that target of where you'd like to be as a coaching staff from an offensive and a defensive standpoint?
I think I'd like to get off the field a little more on defense. I think that's definitely got to be a goal. We get into those third down and fourth down. I think, don't quote me, I think Coach Ralston wanted to be about 33% on defense on third down, and on fourth down, if we're 50-50, that's pretty good. And we didn't hit our numbers this week. So I think that would help get more plays for the offense. But offensively, I liked what we did. We just got to finish up drives and cut out some of those mental errors. And I think that defensively, it still comes down to mental errors. And we've been on our boys. We didn't have the best practice Tuesday, but I think that's just the nature of the beast. First full week of school. Our kids were really, really focused today, and when I left for Pizza Hut, we had about 10 guys watching film, and our quarterback just got done watching film. So I'm excited that these kids want to grow and learn, and we're going to keep holding them accountable and have way high standards, and we're going to keep growing, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Good. 230 yards of total offense, 162 on the ground on 44 carries, 68 yards passing, just 3 of 14 throwing. Was that more just from a timing standpoint, more of what McComb did defensively to have that low completion rate, in your opinion?
The completion rate, I went and looked back. Cooper Kent's more of a pocket thrower, and Braxton Prosser's, more of this great athlete. I really felt like I did a poor job of letting Braxton throw it. Okay, we got to give him more opportunities to sling it a little bit, and we worked that hard this week in practice. And on Cooper Kent, if you look at his throws, the number of times where he has a clean pocket and he gets to rear back and throw, he did a great job of reading defense. I think he had one slant play that I didn't like. I thought he should have threw the slant, but he did a great job. It's really up front. We've got to make sure that our tackles are widen the pocket a little bit more and not give him such a short corner. And it really was technique stuff. It's something we talked about. We got two great tackles in Ho-Ho and Justin Lester, and those guys are going to grow this week, and they're going to give Cooper a little bit more time. And when he's in, you'll be able to see a little bit better passing, I think, if we can just give him that time. On the flip side of that, Carey's defense brings 5 guys, so it's not like that it's going to be an easier task, but I do think our technique got better this week.
Good. McComb, 539 yards of total offense, 40 rushes for 268, and very efficient passing, 11 of 18 for 271. On your side, Gabe Ivey, 14 carries, 92 yards, 2 TDs. Braxton Prosser, 18 carries, 49 yards, 1 TD. Also 2 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. And you had mentioned to the Galion Inquirer, they got 11 kids that are tough. They've been there and done that. They've smacked us in the mouth and took us to the woodshed a little bit. And when the whole game was over, you had your kids out on the field, you're talking to them around the circle. What was the message that you gave to them?
I think, our focus, and I think we talked about it, I think, before the game. We got these 3 things we talk about all the time about relentless effort, competitive excellence, and family. But I think part of relentless effort is that idea that you can lock in and pay attention to those little details. And I don't think we have bad kids or that they mean to be lackadaisical, but there's times where we just lose it. We lose our focus. And that relentless effort's got to change. And we've been preaching it this week as well. I think our kids are hearing it. Like I said, all those guys putting that extra time in the film room tonight, and I've seen it at practice and asking questions and all that stuff. It's going to pay off, but it takes time. And being able to focus like a varsity player is way different than JV. And we got some guys that just need to grow with the details. And when they do that, they're going to make way more plays. And we're close, and hopefully this week we'll take a big step forward, and if not, we're going to get it next week. But the bottom line is there's room for growth.
Real quickly, you watched the film, and what were the takeaways that you were happy with, and what are the biggest areas that you need to improve upon this week?
I think there's a lot of times on offense or defense where we have 10 guys that are doing a great job, a perfect job, and the other guy could be a cone. Meaning I could just set a chair out there. It wouldn't matter. He is not doing anything right. He is completely lost. And the bottom line is when that guy gets a clue, and all those other 10 guys keep doing their job, it's going to change the whole complexity of the play. Those 10-yard runs will go for 60 or 80 yards, and the defense will look way better. And we just got to get that last guy to take that step. And now, we're in week 2 now, so we're battling injuries. So that next man up mentality, but still getting all 11 guys to click on the same page. That's huge. And we're just not there yet, offensively or defensively, but we're getting closer. And it's fun to watch it come together in practice.
Yeah, very good. Take a break here. We'll talk to the young men around the table. Show's brought to you in part by Terry Gribble Associates at your Galion Community Center, YMCA. Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street, Bucyrus. Rod Steiger and Associates here at the Pizza in Galion, also Bucyrus, host of our show since 1992. And Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, the official foam board t-shirt provider, Route 309 across from the Marion Depot. First up, we have Cooper Mccabe as a senior, and welcome to the show tonight. I'm glad that you came, and wow, tough one, but there's a lot of opportunity, as Coach said. What's the biggest takeaway that you took personally that you can grow going into Carey Week?
I just think our defense needs to do a little bit better. Like our DBs. Are you talking about like me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Learn how to take on doubles better. They were double teaming me and holding me the whole game. So
yeah.
I got to fight off that better.
Did you say anything to the officials about getting help?
No, I like it.
Oh, you don't mind it? Okay. And so are you playing a linebacker position?
I play nose guard.
You're a nose. Okay, very good. And offensively, what are you playing?
I play a little bit of fullback. I block H-back.
Okay, all right. So Carey's known as a pretty physical team, both offensively and defensively. And as the nose, you're going to get it from both sides, of course, as you know that. Yeah. And as you've watched them on film, what's your biggest thing that you have to do so that they can't do what they want to do against you?
I got to stay low. They're big guys. They're really big, and I'm not the size of linemen, so I got to stay low and be really fast. Don't let them touch me.
Yeah, very good. What do you think that you can exploit when you've watched Carey, things that maybe your team offensively can do to kind of punish them a little bit?
I think offensively, I think we have a lot of speed on our team, and I think that's going to mess them up real good.
Good. Well, good luck. Enjoy your trip over there. As Coach and I were talking before the show, always a fun place to play, no question about it. Next up, we have Justin Lester, a senior. And Justin, I appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you so much. And you're a lineman on the team, correct?
Yes.
All right. Tackle, guard?
Tackle.
Tackle, okay. Strong or weak side?
Strong.
Strong side, okay. How do you feel you graded out week one, you personally?
Week one, I mean, personally, one of my main struggles was just placement or getting off the ball, being able to place myself to be able to make the blocks that I need to, not setting enough outside on pass, or when I'm trying to get the inside gap, not taking 2 steps instead of taking 1, I need to take 2. But it's something that we really hammered at practice this week, and all of our drills have been about making sure we're getting in the right place or getting the right technique.
Yeah, it comes down to technique for sure. I know you can watch film all you want to, but until you're in the action, you really don't know. Were the McComb defensive linemen quicker than you thought they would be, or quicker than they looked to be?
From film, you could tell they were quick, but once you get in the game, like you said, it's a completely different game, and you can't pick up how fast they actually are from film. So I feel like anybody from film to game is a little quicker than what you think they would be.
Sure. But you've learned from that now. You have that rep in. Carey, as we heard mentioned before, big off and physical.
Yeah.
Any concerns about that, or you think, well, I'm going to be okay there because I can match their intensity?
I think our offensive line can match it. We got a couple people coming up, but they're doing real good to learn the new plays, learn what we're doing. But we can definitely match what they're doing.
All right. Well, good luck to you. They haven't lost since week 1 last year, so you got a great opportunity to knock them off at home. So good luck to you. Next up, we have Lincoln Tyrell as a junior. In position that you're playing on the team, Lincoln?
On offense, I'm receiver, and on defense, I'm going to be playing some D-line this week.
Okay. All right. Receiving-wise, tough night for your quarterbacks throwing from an efficiency standpoint. But as Coach said, you're not really going to be all the time a lot of big-time throwing teams. You'd rather run the ball. So if you're not getting the ball, what can you do as a receiver, even though the ball's not coming your way, to make the team successful?
Do my job, line up where I'm supposed to be, and block as hard as I can every play.
That's exactly right, and that's probably what Coach wanted to hear. Talk about the 111th, and right now it sounds like you're 10 out of 11, and we're not naming names or anything along that line. You just got to get that extra person to do his 111th. Has that been something that outside of practices that you guys have talked about, kind of just getting together as seniors, well, you're a junior, but still talking?
I mean, it's something that we have to bring up around each other. We have to remind each other that you have to focus on that. Every single guy has to do their job, or else it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Regardless of the outcome, did you have a lot of fun on Friday night just being out there with your brothers?
I mean, I love playing football, but I didn't play a great game, and I didn't feel too good about that. So
well, that's admirable.
That's an honest answer.
No, that is honest, and I appreciate that. You get down on yourself, but part of it too of any extracurricular is having fun, and any time that you can go out there and enjoy the moment, you can be self-critical, and that gives you a great opportunity to get better this week. So that I hope that you do and have a good game over at Carey for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Next up, it is Michael Drake, a sophomore. At position you're playing on the team, Michael?
Tackle on offense and on defense.
Okay. Now, did you get a lot of time on Friday night?
No, I didn't get any time on Friday, but I did get playing time the next morning on Saturday.
Okay, who'd you play on Saturday?
We played at McComb.
Oh, you did? You went all the way up there. That's an interesting field, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, kind of sitting there in the middle of this little village. How did you do against them?
We lost a game. We could have done it, but we could have won the game, but it's just a little mistakes.
Okay. And how do you think you did personally in that game?
Me personally, I didn't do too bad. There was a couple things I should have done better. There was one play where I actually gave up a tackle, but other than that, I didn't do too bad.
How have you made your starters get better this week?
Going aggressive on Scout L and Scout D. Been told by my coach plenty of times that to be aggressive.
Very good. Well, good luck to you. Have fun up in Carey, and it's just a really neat atmosphere. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Finally, it's Dalton Sparks, not related to me, but we share the last name. And welcome aboard. I'm glad you came as a senior. And what position on the team this year?
Right now I'm playing center.
Center. Okay. So that may change, you say, with a little question, or you're not sure yet?
No, I don't know. I gotta get a little better. I didn't do really good Friday.
Are you mostly under center, or are you out of shotgun, or a little of both?
We're mostly a shotgun team, but we have a few under center plays.
Okay. Any issues getting the ball back to the quarterback in week 1?
No, none.
We felt comfortable about it. Did you see more blitzes from McComb's defense than you thought maybe you would?
Surprisingly, we didn't get many blitzes up the middle, except their Mike linebacker. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So what have you focused on in practice this week? Carey's good defensively, of course, as well as offensively. Physical, strong. What have you done to really kind of accentuate what you have to do to, A, get the ball back to the quarterback, and then cover your blocks?
Yeah, they run a little different defensive line. They have a guy head up on the center, so I gotta consistently stay low so I can be able to get him.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck. Enjoy the trip over and have a good game. Take another break before we finish up with Coach here. Our show is brought to you in part by Don Barn Associates at Galion Building Law Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richmond Mall, and Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galion Industrial Park. Back to head football coach at Galion High School, Matt Dick. And Coach, we mentioned a couple times now, over to Carey, your first of 2 consecutive trips to Wyandotte County is Week 3, you're going to be going over to Upper Sandusky. And as you mentioned, a really neat place to play, a neat atmosphere, right kind of sitting there in the middle of a housing development. Carey fans are passionate. They're coming off a state championship, so interest is high. A lot of kids out. Coach Jonathan Mershman just has them in a really good place right now. And they took care of Hopewell Loudon 37-8, a team that they lost to in week 1 last year, even though they were missing some kids. It's a team that came over here last year and took you down 35-21. You were winning that game at halftime, and then it kind of flipped around, and that really seemed to catapult their season. What do you expect from them? Any changes from them offensively or defensively, or pretty much as planned?
You know, offensively, I think they're getting a double tight. Maryland Iron are going to run the ball. I think if you stop that, you have a chance to beat them. If they run over you all night, you're going to lose. And they're going to run over us some. I mean, that's who they are. And it's kind of like we're going to run over them some. That's who we are. But sooner or later, you're going to have some timely stops. And I really believe it'll either be Maryland I or their quarterback run. Our defense is going to have to come up and make some plays. Offensively, number 32, I think he was Northern 10 Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's a heck of a linebacker. Number 9 outside linebacker. Those 2 guys and just their whole front 7. They fly around. They play tough defense. Got a lot of respect for what Coach does over there. And if we can handle all the pressure that they bring on defense, then we'll have success offensively. But it's just kind of suffocating at times. When you watch film, you can really see that they pressure the offense. And then again, defensively, we've got to stop that Maryland line. If we do those 2 things, then we'll be in a game. And, as a football coach, I've only been up to Carey a couple times, but it's one of my favorite places to play. It's just a great atmosphere. It's small country football. It's something I grew up with, and I love how crazy their fans are and how loud they are. And even in the film, you can hear their fans going nuts. Right. And I just can't wait to see our kids perform in an atmosphere like that. And it's time to be the real Tigers and to take a big step forward this week.
Very good. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to all of you. We'll look forward to kind of rewinding with that next week and getting ready for Week 3 at Upper Sandusky. Thanks a lot for coming tonight.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. It's Jake Bruner and the Colonel Crawford Eagles coming up right after this timeout.
Let's get a picture.